Well, I have a very special guest with me on the program today, a gentleman who needs no introduction. He has been fighting for the cause of building a better Bharata, Bharata's culture and everything else is attached and associated with it for a while now. He is donning the role of a politician this time around. He is the editor of Goa Chronicle. It's a pleasure to welcome Savio Rodrigues, who is the BJP's candidate from the Velim Assembly Constituency seat this time around in the Goa elections, which will be held on the 14th of February. Counting of votes will take place on the 10th of March. Savio, pleasure having you here. Welcome.
Namaste, Frank. Thank you for having invited me to your discussion. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Lovely to have you here. And so let's dive right in then. What has brought you to this? What has made you decide on a career in politics? And you've decided to don the role of a politician now, not yet an MLA of the Goa Assembly Constituency, but I'm sure that all that will change come March 10th.
Politics is not something that is unknown to me. I've been a journalist and been very active on various aspects of understanding politics. I did have a small stint in as a member of a political party, that was the Congress in 2017, for about 8 months, and I left on it. My leaving became national news, and some people thought that I was an MLA at that point of time, which was not true. And but in all that, I've always been very close to Mr. Parekar. In fact, when I joined the Congress also, he was the first person that I informed that I'm joining the Congress, and he was very happy. And he said that, at least the Goa Congress will get some intelligent people in the party. Because I come from a constituency that's very predominantly Congress, so that was the reason why I thought I would be with them at that point of time. However, what I realized, and one of the reasons why I left, was that I didn't see a futuristic play of politics. It was always within the same style of political functioning, of criticism, of destructive criticism rather than positive criticism. And that's not the kind of politics I believe in. So I left. I didn't join the BJP at that point of time, and I was not looking at joining the BJP at that time. I was pretty keen with my journalism and whatever we were doing. And I started to build what I consider my nationalistic narrative as an Indian Christian across the country, because I think it's very important for people to also understand that the role of an Indian Christian towards nation building. And that's really what I was working on. However, post my meeting with Prime Minister Modi in September and a connect between both of us, we realized that there is a potential for an Indian Christian nationalist to play a very active role in nation building from the BJP itself. Traditionally, most of the Christian leaders, the good leaders, shy away from the BJP. And one of the reasons I decided to come on board is because I like what Prime Minister Modi is doing. And I've also been somebody who's been an ardent follower of Manohar Parekar, and I want to take forward his legacy. So he has been my mentor one way or the other, whether I was in a political stint for a little while in the Congress or not. Manohar Parekar has always been my mentor, and he's somebody I've been inspired by. So when the opportunity presented itself and they asked me, would you like to contest the election? And where would you like to contest from? And I said the Velim Constituency, because I come from the Velim Constituency. That's the land of my ancestors. My parents lived there. I saw it as a message or a sign from God that maybe it's time for me to take that active role in politics and contribute towards social upliftment of the people in Veli as well as Goa, and then later on towards India. I was a little apprehensive. I wanted to see how my mother would react to it, because my mother becomes my conscience yardstick, in most things that I do, especially things that may not seem very happening in her eyes, So I called her up. I did call her up. I was a little hesitant on telling her that this is what has happened. But I put it up on Facebook, and one of my cousins called her up, and then she realized that something has happened. So she thought she'd call me and ask me. I thought I'll I'll just take my time and tell her. I'll go and meet her and tell her. I won't tell her over the phone. So when I told her that this is what happened and BJP is offering me the Velim constituencies, she was very excited about it. And she said, this is God's plan. Now it's time for you to do something for the people, because she didn't see it as BJP being negative. She knows, a lot of people have got a negative view of BJP as far as the Velim constituency is concerned in terms of the Christian population, some of them. Says, but I believe you are there for a purpose. So you will be able to speak to them rationally and get them to see your point of view. So that further convinced me that maybe it's time I should take that plunge. And the rest is, I have to take my message to them. I need to take the message as an Indian Christian, as an Indian from the BJP to the people of Velim and to the people of Goa. And that's what I'm going to do. In the end, it's upon the people whether they believe in what I can deliver for them. Because at the end, we want the socioeconomic strata, the socioeconomic pulse of Goa and Velim to rise up to its true potential. And that's really what I'm doing. So in the end, it's up to them. People will decide whether I'm an MLA or not. And whether I get selected or not. My intention with Velim will stay, because now my mother wants me to ensure that Velim gets uplifted. So I will do that.
Absolutely. And talking about the people and talking about upliftment of society, what is top on your agenda, and what is it that you would like to take to the people?
You see, one of the things I'm a firm believer of, and because I have proved myself as an entrepreneur over the last 11 years of my business enterprise. Today, Goa Chronicle is one of the most respected media brands, not only in Goa, but in India and internationally. It has a very good valuation. Our tie-up with the ITV network in NewsX further accentuated our valuation as a brand. And it's something that's grown out of the grassroots in Goa itself and came to an international stage. So in much the same way, I believe enterprise and entrepreneurship and empowerment are the 3 E's that I will be focusing on as far as Velim is concerned, at this point of time. So let me give you an idea. For example, I've already done the backward integration with the players in this particular idea, so I can talk about it. What we want to do is we want to empower the women and the youth in our constituency. So we're setting up a cottage-based industry startup over there. We will provide them with the machineries at home. We will provide them with the technical know-how. And all they'll have to do is create a product for us, a product that is saleable. Interestingly, we will buy back that product from them. They don't have to go to the market to sell it as well. Through this, we can actually right now offer about 5,000 women or unemployed youth in Velim constituency itself a job that pays them 500 rupees a day. For example, that's one of the ideas that I will roll out whether they elect me or not. It is something I want to do because I think I can empower people. It's a startup business. So the whole idea is, I believe Velim is a very educated hub. People have traveled a lot around the world. There are a lot of people who work on ship. There are a lot of people who work in other parts of the world as well as India. So they're exposed. They understand. There was a time when you had good doctors and good lawyers coming out of the Velim constituency, and Velim is a fairly large constituency, very agrarian in its look, and one of the most pristine, tranquil constituency. So I believe we want to do it in such a manner is to convert Velim into a smart village, to make it economically sustainable and ecologically sustainable as well. I don't want to work with disturbing the ecological beauty of Velim. We want to work around it. So even the tourism idea, for example, I've already done the backward integration with a hospitality and a real estate player, wherein we would take old homes that are there, like dilapidated or really that need a little bit of renovation. We would invest money into doing that and then convert them into homestays, so that the aspect of Goa, which is traditionally the village concept of Goa, the village republic, the experience of living in a quaint village, That's what we bring back. So if you can get about 20, 30 for a start, and then move it up to 100 homes that we invest and renovate and take on long lease, at least the people of that home who are probably living abroad or in other parts of India can actually earn a certain revenue through this enterprise. So it's a homestay Airbnb kind of model that we are working on, which will be integrated with technology. So I'm a person who is very, very big on technology. If you know, I do a lot of things with startups as well. So one of the other aspects is education. So education, what we will be working on is to focus on post-12th standard education on skill development areas, focus on technology. So one of the academies that we're looking at in talks with the schools in Velim is to have an academy where we will be able to teach AI, robotics, and technology. We will be able to put up a lab, a sort of a mini lab where people can actually work with robotics in the sense, Then I want to set up in that same school, we want to be able to set up a class for civil service examinations like IAS and IFS. That's important for the people from Goa to contribute towards in the nation building. Then we are looking at studies and research on agriculture and how we can enhance the agrarian sector through new technologies within the startup segment itself. Not much has happened in Goa, but we can actually do a lot in that. So I see Goa as personally as Velim. I will set up an incubation center. I will be working with people from Velim. We've said we are setting up a fund that's called the Thomas Seva Foundation Entrepreneur Fund of 25 lakhs, which will look at investing into startup ideas that come from Velim itself. These ideas have to be social entrepreneurship driven ideas that can help enhance that can help solve social problems in Velim, Goa, and if we can scale it up to other parts of India, we'll do that. So that to me is what my idea of politics is. I'm not a politician in the true sense of the question mark of a politician. I'm more of a social entrepreneur or more of a social reformer. So I want to bring about things that are driven by economy. You see, I don't want to give you a fish and then be forever feeding you with a fish. That's not my idea of politics. My idea of politics is to teach you to fish. And on the basis of that, you would be able to fish on your own. And that's how I see it. So I believe there are a considerable amount of people of self-respect in Velim that understand the idea that I'm proposing. And my manifesto, which is out to a few people, they love the ideas over there. I have something as simple as a concept, which again is an enterprise, which is going to be initiated. It's called Angel Touch. Now, there's a considerable amount of senior citizens in Velim because their children are abroad or in other parts of India or working on the ship. They don't have anybody to care and comfort for them, right? So we're setting up an initiative through an enterprise as well as a self-help group that will be able to provide, cater to the needs of comfort and care of senior citizens in Velim. That's something known as the Angel Touch. So let's say they want to go to the doctor, but there's nobody there to take them over there. So somebody from our team would be able to go guide them. If somebody is bedridden and they need a certain caretaker, and maybe the father is sick and the mother is not able to do that, then there will be a caretaker that will be provided. So this will be all through a CSR initiative that we have. So for me, I see them as part of my people. I'm there to listen to them. I'm there to provide them with the solution. I'm a solutions guy. I'm not a guy, if you know me, Frank, that I'm not somebody who live on the problems too much. There's a problem, it will remain. The problem can only change if you provide a solution to that problem, because after you finish with this problem, you'll get another problem and you'll need to find another solution to that. So for me, it is about trying to get them to open their eyes to the possibility of upliftment. It's empowerment. I don't want them to be. I'm not looking at political slaves. I don't want to buy you. That's not what I want to do. I want to work with you. I want to work with you so that you understand that together the difference can be done. I might be the guy with ideas. I might be the guy with the connections and the links to the state government and the center. But I can't achieve anything in Velim if I don't have you. So I don't want to buy you out. I don't want you to make you work for me. I want you to work with me because we need to do it together. I can't hear you.
And this you're saying, Savio, irrespective of the fact if you win or lose, because this is what your agenda is, this is what you're going to take to the people, and social upliftment is what you're working towards.
Yes.
Okay, that's absolutely great, because promises are always made. We know, this nation and the people of this nation are tired of the kind of promises and the manifestos that they see time and again, because politicians have not really lived up to their word in the past.
No, you're absolutely right in some cases, Frank, and I completely am in resonance in what you're saying. But the difference is that I'm not a politician. I keep coming back to the fact that I'm a social entrepreneur. If you see the kind of work we do, even with InQBs or Goa Chronicle or the consultancy firm that I have or the tech research that we've been doing, we look at investing into startups. We look at doing things with various innovative ideas. Okay, I'll give you an example of one of the clients that we have. So there was this wonderful lady who's like a sister to me. She's a paraplegic. She was thrown from the third floor of a building because of a dowry issue. And she lost mobility from waist downwards. For 15 years, she was bedridden, but she was an MA in art and picked up art again and, started painting. Now, I don't know who she is because she's based out of Varanasi. I didn't know who she was. So at a minister's place in Delhi, I saw her talk very enthusiastically and with a lot of exuberance to the PA of the minister, saying that I'm having an exhibition, please come for it. I wanted to invite the minister. She was very, very animated about whatever she was doing. And I like people who are animated, There's a lot of positivity in them. So I asked her, I said, can I come and see the exhibition? So she said, it's starting 2 days from now. And at that point of time, that evening, I was leaving for Dubai on some work. So I said, I'm sorry, I won't be able to attend it. But the next time you have an exhibition, let me know. I'd love to see it. She said, no, you can see some of my paintings on the phone. So she showed me some of her paintings on the phone. And I was very impressed by it. I said, listen, I'm coming back in 15 days from Dubai. I'll give you a call. And let's see if we can do something together. So on an average, she used to sell her paintings for about 25,000, 20 to 25,000, because she didn't know the value of her paintings. We've managed to sell about 4 paintings of hers. We've not done much during the COVID period. We were to do exhibitions in Goa, Bangalore, and Dubai, but we could not do it. We've sold 4 paintings of hers at about an average of 1,25,000. Right? 80%. Right. And 80% of that money goes to her. 20% of the money is kept into an account which is used for promoting whatever needs to be done for her. Okay. Now, why do I do that? I don't need her money. I didn't need to do it. But I genuinely thought her art was very good. I thought her art was brilliant. She's going to do up my new home with some of her paintings, and that's what I am. If I see something good and if I like it, and if I have an ability to push you to my connections or to probably invest in you as a angel at that point of time to help you get better, I'll do that. If it fits within my financial parameters. And I think to me, like I keep saying, I'm not a politician in the understanding of the politician. Like I was never a journalist in the understanding of the journalist that exists. Right? I was a little different. The same it will be in politics, because I think it's important to uplift people, uplift people. Even as a journalist, my job was always to educate, make an informed decision. This is the information, not impress upon you what decision you need to make. It's the same thing now. I want them to be uplifted in the opportunities that can be provided to them. And on the basis of that, will you be able to understand? Like now, many people have been telling me, Frank, that a person standing on a BJP ticket, a Christian on a BJP ticket in Velim is never going to win the elections. And factually, that could be true. Okay. However, the most important thing for them to understand is that I'm not standing the elections as a Christian or a Hindu or a Muslim or somebody from a particular caste. I'm standing there as an Indian, right? My Christian faith does not define my nationalism, right? And that's exactly the message I'm going to take to them. So I've told the priest, I've told certain people that if you're going to look at me from the eyes of the Christian and you're going to look at the BJP in your biased person views, then you're never going to see what value we can add to you. Okay, the value addition comes from the individual. The value addition comes from the party as well, right? But more importantly, the connect at that level will always be the individual, the intelligence of the individual, the commitment of the individual, not necessarily the party. Today, a Christian in the BJP doesn't make the Christian a bad person. A political party's ideology is driven by the connect you resonate with that political party, right? Today, I see Modi as doing extremely well for the brand India, not only in India, but internationally as well. So I resonate with that. The same way I resonated with Manoj Parrikar. He undoubtedly was one of the tallest leaders that Goa had. Of course, he made his own errors around, and people are going to make errors. You're not going to get 100% performance. I could make errors, right? We're not perfect. But the fact is, we have to understand that if we keep the religious, caste, political biases away from each other and focus on what is required for nation building, in this case, constituency building, then we will work together very beautifully.
Is this also a big worrying factor at the end of the day, Savio? Because, whether you like it or not, we are heavily divided on caste and religion in this country, and society looks at it very, very closely. And that's a big aspect when it comes down to elections. There are certain political parties who have taken advantage of the fact politicians across the country have used it as a tool as well. So is this something that concerns you?
Well, polarization, honestly, Frank, I personally do not believe in the concept of polarization. However, it does exist, and that's the truth. Polarization happens across party lines, and the end of polarization or the impact of polarization is division on basis of caste and creed and political bias, and the country does not require that, because today the country is maybe a generation in our generation and a generation before were comfortable with the fact that you could choose on the basis of religion and caste, and you decide based on that. The generation 4, that's my kids, to them and your kids and everybody else, the young youth today, to them caste and religion makes absolutely no difference. So the future of this country is not going to be polarized based on religion. What it's going to be definitely divided on is on the deliverables and the non-deliverables. That's what's going to happen. So leaders that can deliver to them what is necessary for the future is who the youth will support. And those who cannot deliver, the youth will not support. And the young of today are your voters of tomorrow. They are your people of tomorrow. So if you're going to polarize them, they're not going to fall into that. This polarization might probably exist for another term of 5 years, max. Beyond that, it will not. It will always be on deliverables. So the idea is a political leader, in my opinion, has to be one who can deliver, whether he comes from an educated background or whether he's just experience-based educated, deliverables on a new India based on what that young India wants is going to be the future of India.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said. So coming back to Goa and widening the scope, from Veli to the rest of Goa as well, is anti-incumbency going to be a factor this time around?
Well, in all fairness, 10 years of a political party will bring anti-incumbency one way or the other. It is not something that is only meant for the BJP, any political party. 5 years, 10 years, there is always an anti-incumbency going to come because people want change. People want to see something different. So will BJP faces? Of course, BJP will face the anti-incumbency. There's no doubt about that. The question is, will what we have done over the last 10 years be sufficient enough for us to cross the anti-incumbency? That is something I believe that would happen. I think there has been some groundwork that has been done. Some work has been appreciated, some work has not been appreciated. In the end, it will boil down to whether the BJP, whether the people of Goa believe that the BJP can hold on to the government for the next 5 years without having it divided, number one. Number two, they are finding it difficult to see various different political parties, whether the coalition government will really work in the benefit of the people. So in that context, the people of Goa would rather trust a non-coalition than a coalition government, is the way I see it. They would want a steady government that is steady at the state and steady at the center as well. The only political party that will be able to do that is BJP right now. Okay, they certainly people should not write off the Congress. In my opinion, the Congress still has a very loyal following. Unfortunately for the Congress, they have not been able to bring themselves together. Okay, and that is the reason why they will face a little bit of a hardship. Aam Aadmi Party is the other political party that has made great inroads into Goa. It's commendable. But will that be sufficient enough for them to win? Is something I'm not sure of right now. And I've said that before as well. At least till now, I don't see a win. I see a certain increase in their previous vote share. Trinamool Congress, on the other hand, they don't resonate with the people, Frank. The only chance of resonating is some of the leaders that they would have got, like, say, a Louisine Falero, a Churchill Alamau, a Valanka Alamau, a Kiran Kandolkar. They, on their individual capacities, would be able to resonate with the people. But the fact that they are with the Trinamool Congress might just go against them in their pockets. Trinamool Congress's only trump card is their alliance with the MGP. So MGP by nature tends to win 1 or 2 or maximum 3 seats. They could do that even now. And by virtue of that, TMC gets a sort of a foothold, saying that because of our alliance, we won. On their own, I don't see them doing much damage because they've just been there as a Bollywood movie that does immense advertising, but turns out to be a flop show. So the real contest is between BJP and the Congress, with Aam Aadmi Party with being the dark horse in the entire thing, because the votes that could not go to Congress could go to the Aam Aadmi Party, right? The BJP votes, on the other hand, stays intact with the BJP. So that's where the BJP has an advantage, and that's where I think we believe that we will cross the magic number, because we have an advantage of the consolidated votes that stay with the BJP and the ability to get the other forward-thinking, positive Indians to vote for the BJP as a nationalistic party.
And talking about issues, what are the top 3 issues really as far as the people of Goa are concerned, and what's the top agenda for the BJP as a whole in Goa?
Well, unemployment is one of the issues that's going to play a very, very active role, an ability to find answers to unemployment. The second is the mining issue, which is definitely there has to be some sort of a resolution that we arrive at. And the third, I would say, is economic activity in Goa from the point of view of industries that are pertinent to Goa. That's going to be issues that need to. And when I mean economics, it's also coupled with ecological sustainability, because a lot of the infra projects have got a lot of negativity because of the claimed environmental destruction that have happened to it. But I'm not averse to infrastructure. My only reason with the BJP and with others in the political sphere and policy makers is that infrastructure needs to be coupled with the right kind of vision that is necessary for a small state like Goa. So I disagree with facts that you need to change Goa to a Shanghai or a Macau or Singapore. Goa cannot become that, because Goa is not a city. Okay, Goa is a state of village republics. That's how it's always been positioned. So it's a very quaint state that requires very unique socio-economic measures that can cater to it. It cannot replicate a city-based model. That's why when I looked at Velim as a smart village model, I was talking to the people at the center saying that how do we turn this into a smart village? without changing the ecological balance of Velim. So Goa has to be looked at differently. You can't turn Goa into a Shanghai, Macau. It certainly cannot become the casino capital of India. You know, while I have nothing against casinos, I think tourism has to evolve from a very different perspective altogether. We need to, like, it's like when I asked Piyush Goyal the question when he was down, he said the tourism is just one aspect, and casino is one aspect of tourism. We have to build the entire economic activity around Goa. We can't just focus on certain pockets. There has to be a complete holistic plan that's necessary.
Absolutely. And I think this is where integrating technology and integrating the village constituency into a smart village is really going to help. I think it can address both the challenges of unemployment as well as economic activity picking up. And
you see, Frank, yes, for me, you see, I do know that some of my stand might be accepted by the center. And I also know that some of my views may not be accepted by some in the BJP within the state itself. However, I know and I have the confidence of the people at the top in the BJP, in the government, that this boy will always do what is in the interest of the nation. So an idea that I have is always done in the interest of the nation, because I have nothing else to gain. See, we run a successful business. We are not the prolific guys who want to be seen everywhere, party everywhere, socialize. We're not that. I don't come from that background. I would rather spend my time reading a book or taking a course, learning something. That's how I am. So for us, money has never been an importance. Politics to me is not about money. My money comes from my business, and I'm quite happy with what I have. Right? What I want is having traveled through so many parts of the world, Frank, and seen certain countries and seen how they have evolved over a period of time. I believe political will with a little bit of practicality is essential for taking any state or any constituency, for that matter, or for the matter of ward, forward. You need to have that sensibility of making a difference. Let's take something like a Swachh Bharat initiative. In the Velim constituency, we are introducing something known as pay for garbage, which was something I wanted to do in another constituency outside of Goa, where we were putting it together, and then COVID happened. And because it requires workforce on the ground, we stopped it. Pay for garbage is an initiative wherein we've realized through our analysis that the reason people are not in India are not so driven and still continue to throw garbage, wherever they find a way to throw garbage, is because they either are not afraid of the laws, number one, or number two, they are not being incentivized to commit to an action. We as Indians like to be incentivized to commit to an action. If you're told that you're getting 500 rupees discount in a particular shop, or a store, you would ensure that you will go and buy 4,000 rupees worth of something because you're getting 500 rupees discount, because to you, you've saved 500 bucks. You've not realized that you spend 3,500 to ensure that you save the 500 rupees. So we believe that we like to be incentivized. It's something we feel good about. So the pay for garbage concept is where we teach you how to segregate the garbage into papers and cardboards and bottles and wet garbage. I don't have a solution to the wet garbage right now. I'm working on it. But to the dry garbage, what we do is we buy it back from you. After you segregate it, there will be a van that will come in the constituency, 2 vans that will go around in the constituency. They're picking up the dry garbage in a segregated manner. So the bottles will be separate, the newspapers will be separate, the cardboard boxes will be separate. And we pay you for that. We pay you the price based on the value of it in weightage that is there at that time. And that's how you get your money. So you don't have to be worried. So if you bought a newspaper and you paid a certain amount, you're at least getting some amount of that money back. Or your cardboard boxes, you're getting some. So you're not throwing it or burning it. In Goa, what they do is they burn the garbage in some places. And that's terrible. Absolutely. That's terrible for health, right? So Pay for garbage is that initiative. Let's say you earn $400 a month from it. I'm just saying, I don't know. If you earn $400 a month, you're not going to say no. That garbage is of no value anyway. All you're doing is you're going and burning it. So my team comes and gives you. By doing that also, what I'm doing is I'm giving employment to the boys. That the boys who have come from a certain, let's say, educated background, not educated, or just somebody who wants to work, but has limited skill sets. This skill set allows him to go and get an opportunity to work as well. So it's a complete system. It's an ecosystem that you're creating. So if I can make Veli a model village as far as even Swachh Bharat is concerned to the pay for garbage initiative, I'm making a difference. See, the whole idea is to make a difference, Frank, to make a change. So I believe the people will vote for me, because I believe that there are sensible people in Veli, and the sensible people who understand what I'm saying are going to vote for me. The ones who want to continue to be in the thought process that no, we need to vote based on a political party or based on a religion, they're free to do that. That's their choice. I'm not going to judge them for that. All I'm saying is, let's make Veli better. Let's transform Veli, because my tagline is transforming Veli, and that's all I want to do.
Absolutely. And finally, before I let you go, Savio, anything that you'd like to say to the people of your constituency and to the people of Goa?
All I'd like to say is that they've always, in some form or the other, given an independent an opportunity with BJP support. Okay. They've, like, say, Velim Rodrigues at one point of time was an independent, and he got BJP support, and then he was with the government. Benjamin Silva was an independent with BJP support. He became the MLA in 2012. If you're willing to support the BJP candidate when they are independents and they have the BJP support, why not give the BJP candidate a chance as a BJP candidate once? The equations don't change, no? But here he is there with you from that constituency, representing the BJP for you. I'm also somebody who the Prime Minister sees as somebody of value, which is why we met and which is why we connect. I'm also somebody that the leaders at different parts of the center and even the state respect. I'm a leader that can get work done for you. If you want to vote for me based on the fact that you think I will put money in your bank account because you vote for me with these wonderful ideas that have come out with some political party, that you'll have 2,000 in your bank account, 5,000 in your bank account, I won't do no such thing. But I will definitely teach you how to make money. My initiatives that I'm bringing in, like the cottage industry, that can get you to earn roughly about 15,000 rupees a month, but you need to work for that. I will not feed you with the fish. I'm very clear with that. I will teach you to fish, and I'll teach you to become a damn good fisherman and a fisherwoman, if you're willing to trust me.
Love the analogy. I hope that it happens, and I hope that we see more of this. Savio, I wish you all the very best, because you are truly working towards building a better nation and working to make a difference. I wish you all the very best, and I hope that you win come February 14th. Thank you so much for being here on Bharata First, and thank you for doing this interaction.
Thank you, Frank. You have a good day, my friend.
You too. Namaste.
Bye.